Today we are going on an adventure in my personal 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser First Edition. Our destination, an alpine lake deep in the Cascade Mountains. And to get there, we are going to take a road that is going to be very challenging and a lot of fun. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. Even though we've already featured this 2024 Land Cruiser First Edition in a couple other videos, this will be its first solo outing. That's because I actually bought this Land Cruiser for the channel. This is our new long-term tester, and I just passed the 1,000-mile break-in mark, which means, yeah, we can finally have some fun. This First Edition is the top trim available in the new Land Cruiser. That means it comes with everything. You get a roof rack, rock rails, leather interior, heated and cooled seats, and pretty much every other option that's available. Under the hood is a 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine combined with an electric motor for a total system output of 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. Full-time four-wheel drive is standard. In fact, it's always in four-wheel drive thanks to the lockable Torsen center differential. It also has a rear locker in addition to Toyota's MTS and crawl control systems. I paid about $77,275 US, including destination and a couple options. From the dealer, it did arrive with standard Michelin LTX trail tires on 18-inch wheels. As soon as I was done with the break-in period, I swapped them out with the new Falken Wildpeak AT4W HD tires. These are 10-ply tires. They're very heavy, but extremely durable. Of course, you can also get the AT4W as a light-duty tire, which I think would be what most people would probably gravitate towards. I also removed the little air dams in front of the tires. These are actually the same size as the factory tires, 265/70 R18s. I went with this size instead of something larger because I wanted to use the stock mounting location for the spare tire. If I went up to, say, 35s, they would fit on this vehicle, but there would be no place for a spare. I'd have to go with either a roof or a rear mount. Today's adventure is one I've been wanting to do for quite a while. It's to drive this Land Cruiser all the way up to the Gallagher Head Lake, deep in the mountains. This is a lake that is only accessible during the middle of the summer. The rest of the year, it's absolutely covered in snow and completely impassable. To get there, we're going to take the Fortune Creek 4x4 trail, and that brings us to the sponsor of this video, onX Off-Road. The onX Off-Road app rates this trail as a moderate 4 out of 10. And I know that it's open all the way through because somebody named Mike actually drove their Jeep Wrangler through this just a couple weeks ago, and they reported as being open. Using the app, I can see the trail will start at about 3,300 feet and end at just over 4,300 feet. I can also expect some loose rocks, sand, erosion, washouts, ledges, and some steep grades. This all sounds very doable for this Land Cruiser. At least I hope it is. Because I have an elite membership, I can also see that it's on public land the whole time. So no worries about private gates or easements. Start your own adventure and save 20% off your subscription to onX Off-Road by signing up with the discount code DSTV. That's an abbreviation for Driving Sports TV. Your subscription also helps support our channel. Okay, obviously this is a very, very rocky trail, and I expect we'll have some pretty deep trenches along the way. Now, I chose not to air down yet. We're at 38, which is kind of on the low side for an E-load tire, 10-ply. I just want to see how well this does. If I need to, I can air down in a little bit. Right, so here we are. So setup is pretty simple. We do have a ton of things we could play with here, but I'm just going to keep it easy as possible. What I'm going to do is go into 4 low, shift into neutral. So that's putting the transfer case into 4 low, which is going to multiply the torque that's available in the vehicle. It'll also give me a slower crawl ratio. And then I'm also going to disconnect the stabilizer bar. That's going to give me more articulation in the front. Let's go to MTS. Because I'm on rocks, let's go ahead and pick rock. That'll have the least amount of wheel spin. MTS is basically multi-terrain select. It is the system that uses wheel braking to shift power left to right. It also affects basically all the systems in the vehicle to optimize it for certain conditions. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. I'm just going to add a little throttle. And I'm looking on the camera to try to place my wheels in a nice location. I should have lots of articulation here. And articulation is critically important. It's what allows us to move forward. If your wheels aren't touching the ground, there's not a lot you can do. So I'm just adding a little bit of throttle here. I can hear MTS doing its job as it's pulling us forward. Oh yeah, super easy, very nice. It's a little tilty. Our tilt is probably around 20 degrees according to the little application there. Okay, and away we go. Nice. If that's just the beginning, I can't wait to see what we have in store next. And we are going to try out all the systems on this vehicle. That was just a start. Ooh, already hitting some rock. Whoa, what was that? There's a rock I did not see. This vehicle has about 8.7 inches of ground clearance normal, which is not a lot. However, these slightly larger tires do add a little to that, but I have to be careful with straddling anything that's too big. So instead of driving centered down the large boulders, I'm actually going to drive over the large boulders. Also, I do have rock rails. I'm kind of curious, how much room do I have on these rock rails? That much. Go up and over. Okay, yeah, clearances are going to be an issue. Now, one nice thing is that because this has the disconnectable front sway bar, it's actually going to be pretty easy to add a lift kit to this vehicle later on. I'm not sure if I want to do that, but it is an option. If you do opt for the GX550 because it has EKDSS, all the KDSS equipped vehicles are difficult to lift. So if you do plan on additional ground clearance later, get the Land Cruiser, not the Lexus GX550. Even though they are based on the same chassis, that difference alone can make all the difference in the world if you want to do like a build. Okay, so here I'm going to try to stay on the ledge and not scrape everything on the left because the paint is still new. Yeah, no problem. One thing I love about these Land Cruisers is they're not terribly wide, and that's by design. We're going to get narrow here. One of the other reasons why I have chosen not to air down yet is because this vehicle is a little bit ground clearance challenged. I wanted all the ground clearance. Even half an inch can cause problems. So I'm not going to air down and lower my ground clearance to start with. If I find I need that later, then yeah, I'll do it. No big deal. Okay, and up we go. Man, it just keeps on going. Love this trail though, this is great. So go around these logs. Hopefully we don't have any big down trees. I do have a saw with me and I do have traction boards, but there are limits. I also brought a tow strap, and that's not to tow me out, although maybe it could be. No, I actually brought a tow strap to yank large logs out of the way, because sometimes you need to do that. Okay, let me take a look at OnX here and see where we are on the trail right now. So go there, OnX trail. Oh, we are, yeah, we've hardly even done anything on the trail. We got miles to go ahead of us of this. Awesome. Okay, and here's the next one. Yeah! This is awesome. So ledge roads are always a little bit sketchy, but I think we've gotten through here just fine so far. I did have to sacrifice at least one or two branches, so yes, I do have the very first scratches on my very expensive Land Cruiser. But that's okay, it's just breaking it in. Okay, we got a little rock climb here. I think we're gonna try crawl control here and see how this does. Now my rear is unlocked, but let's go ahead and lock that. It's gonna take a moment. it didn't want to lock. Why did it not lock? Oh, I have to lock my middle. That's right, I forgot. Torsen center diff. Lock the center diff, then lock the rear. Right. Well, so far we've made it just fine without locking the center diff. So that's a win, right? So you might notice on the outside that this is actually still working to lock the diffs. But I'm just going to go ahead and let it go forward. My foot is over the brake, and I can add brake whenever I want. But crawl is basically doing the rest. This is the slowest crawl setting there is. I'm listening for grinding, specifically that rock rail. I'm not sure about clearance there on the right. Oh, here we go, we're gonna start lifting. I'm not doing anything, crawl is doing it all. And we do have center and rear diffs now locked. Come on, there you go, crawl. Getting it done, super easy. Now the nice thing about crawl control is that it just lets you focus on the line and braking. You don't have to worry about throttle. Also, it keeps those revs high to keep you in a good power band situation. Nice, got through all the way. Oh, and hey, look at that. This looks even more extreme. Okay. Oh, do I got a rock here? I got a rock here. Let's get up on the rock. Listen for that rock slider hitting. Think we're good? Okay, let's turn off crawl control. Let's just do it myself. Pass the hard stuff anyway. Back wheel lifting, and boom, there we go. Okay, at this point, I have two routes I can take. Let's see what onX says about this. onX shows that I have to go to the left, because if I go to the right, that's actually a totally different road. Okay, I guess I gotta take the hard path. Right, let's do it. So I'm gonna walk up there and take a look at what I got going on up there. That looks really hard. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so I walked the trail. I think we can probably make it. There is a bypass to the right. So that's good. So I have mid and rear locked, so we should get no spin on anything. Windshield cleared. Let's not try to scrape the heck out of this if we can. Let's put those mirrors in, actually. Yay for power mirrors. I bet you thought they were just for car washes. Well, they're not. Did it! I was so busy trying not to scratch the car, I kind of missed a lot of the rocks that were in the middle. Actually, we bypassed a lot of the rocks. The mirrors back out. We're good. Nice. Oh man, now we got a bit of a challenge up ahead of us here. Let's see if we can get through this. Yeah, now we can do this. Because I didn't actually have that locker engaged on the lower section, now we can actually try climbing something with the locker turned on. Because, yeah, I forgot to turn on that middle locker first. Okay, so I'm going to avoid the big rock on the left because I think that's a high center situation. Love the fact that this camera is letting me see everything nice and clear. A little scraping on the side there, but no big deal. Now we're going to teeter-totter over if we can. Let's see how this does. Here we are. And then hopefully we don't high center also. So I'm actually going to steer into it a little bit here. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, thank goodness for the fairly narrow wheelbase. Got over that without high centering. I am impressed. What a great little rig. Listen for rock dings. Oh, yeah. You know, obviously, as I drive this more, I'll become more comfortable with the clearances. But this is my first time out, so yeah, I'm just kind of worried about everything. Oh, hey, a little water crossing. Nice. Okay, as we exit the map here and we zoom out on Onyx, you can see just how far we've made it. Now, we obviously have a little bit more to go on this trail, and then we're going to connect to the main line. Once we get to the main line, then it's all the way up to Gallagher Head, which is way out there. So, yeah, let's press on. So if you're curious what the difference is between a slider and a sidestep, is a sidestep is designed only to hold human weight coming from above. It's not to hold any weight from underneath, whereas a slider is actually designed to hold the entire weight of the vehicle. Literally, it protects the sides from when you're sliding over rocks, hence the name. Say I'm pretty happy that I am running the HD tires, because I have zero worries about getting a flat in these conditions, even with them aired up. Now, airing down not only improves traction, it also minimizes the possibility of a puncture, because it's kind of like a balloon. A fully inflated balloon is easier to pop than one that has less air. Same concept applies to tires. However, these guys being 10 plies, I think we're doing just fine. Also, these rocks aren't horribly sharp, although there are a few that are very pokey. Could I do this road with that Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness we had as a long-term loaner? Oh yeah, I would feel totally confident doing it. We'd be rubbing the underside quite a lot, but it would get through. But I will say that traveling in a vehicle like this, that's bigger, heavier, I can fit all my gear, it's less compact. The cooled seats, especially on a hot day like today, just super nice. It just makes it a much nicer experience. Do you need that nicer experience? Well, fine, just buy an old Grand Cherokee and have at it. But if you want something nice and new, yeah, this thing can kind of like meet all needs. I mean, the Land Cruiser is one of those few vehicles you can take to the trail and then during the week go to a black tie gala, and yeah, it's fine because it's a Land Cruiser. There's a lot of different views you can have in this display. I kind of love this one, which is a pseudo POV of the front of your vehicle. It also will show like wheel angle. It shows your wheel placement really nicely. Plus, of course, the side views, which are great as well. It's fun. It's cool. I think it's the coolest display, but I think for practicality, I kind of prefer the standard look. Just a little easier to see what's going on up ahead. Oh, okay. Yeah, this has opened up now to a riverbed. And where are we going? I assume we're going left. Let me check with OnX. Yeah, oh, this is a nice big open area. That's cool. But I'm not going to go wander around Fortune Creek here, simply because that's not an approved off-road area. So we're going to stay on the trail on the left. If you get a Land Cruiser or something else with a Torsen center diff, you really should lock the center diff as soon as you're off-road, because that's kind of like the fundamental number one thing to do. I always forget. But it's okay, because I can always engage it whenever I need it. If there's something that doesn't work, I can turn it on and try again. But just be aware that until you have it turned on, you don't have maximum capability of your vehicle. So I don't have the rear locker on all the time off-road, because it really limits your turning capability. And especially on tight trails like this, I just keep it off. Now, of course, I can always turn that on as well when I need it. And that's kind of the nice thing about just having it, push button is boom, there you go. You do have to like get the splines in line though, so sometimes you have to like roll forward or back a couple feet, but it's usually not that big of a deal. Oh, which way are we going? I think this is where we're joining on the main trail. Let me check with OnX. So the road is splitting here. Let me see which direction we're going. Yeah, oh, it looks like they all join up in the same place, and then we're actually at an intersection where we intersect with the main forest road, which would be our main route to the lake. So I'm just going to go straight, because I think to me that makes the most sense. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. To say visibility on this truck is actually pretty good. I do use the cameras a lot because I have them, but I kind of feel like I can read the trail pretty well, except for when I'm like sticking up in the air like this. At that point, having a trail cam is ideal, especially on these trails that I've never been on. Okay, it looks like we are joining the main line here with a steep climb out. Listen for any grinding with those rock rails. Yeah, no problem. Okay, hopefully it's smooth driving from here. So here's a good unexpected use for the cool box. My DJI Action 4 just overheated because it's in direct sunlight all day. Boom, there we go. Should be ready to go in a couple minutes. While my action camera cools down, let's take a look at some Toyota integrated dash cam footage. This dash cam came with the Land Cruiser, and even though the quality isn't fantastic, it's actually kind of nice to have in a pinch. Bunch of little streams here. Now the thing we have to watch out for is that it'll get our tires wet. Also have to watch the brake over, but more important, it'll get our tires wet, which means it'll make traction more challenging. Luckily, I don't think we have any big bare rocks to climb out of right here. Yeah, so we're good there. On to the next one. Some big rocks here, no big deal though. Oh yeah, that was a rock. Just hit the tire though, so we're good. And out. Oh man. Slippery tires. These tires haven't been broken in yet. They have like no miles on them, so that will improve over time. So that is a literal river crossing. Can we do this without damaging this truck? Let's see. Big log on the right. Now this is just a whole lot of little things to be worried about. Oh, let's lock that rear diff actually. Yeah, rear diff locking. Let's see what we got down here. Ah, that's a big rock. Okay, let's see what we got sidewise. Now what I'm curious, can I clear this? Yeah, I think I can clear it this way, so I can just avoid that rock altogether. And with just a little push around it, yeah, we'll be fine. And go forward to that rock. Ooh, I am gonna have to climb that big rock on the inside here, because there's a big tree right there. Now my tires are wet, so my grip isn't going to be great. Oh, that's not great. Okay, good. Made clearance. Yep, there's that rock slider, found it. Okay. Woo, that was dicey. Oh, still dicey. Okay, that's fun. Woo. Oh, what? So for this truck only having 8.7 inches of ground clearance, I kind of feel like it actually has more, or at least it definitely does now that I put these slightly larger tires on. And I was really concerned with approach angle, but I'm finding out that approach angle isn't the biggest issue here. It is breakover, and of course that is affected by the overall ground clearance as well. Taking off those little arrow pieces that were in front of the tires, that was clutch. That definitely has helped a lot with this. Now this is, I have to be really careful because we're on new AT4Ws that are not broken in yet. And if we hit a rock, we can slide sideways, and that's a drop. So this is like legitimately a really challenging drive. Okay, there we go. Of course, once I get to the lake, yeah, I gotta come out this way too. Yee, whoop. This is the type of thing where if I actually slide down the V notch, we'll land, we'll high center on the rock. So I gotta be careful here. Yeah. You know, V notches in Moab are rock and are typically dry, and they have tons of grip. Out here, it's soft dirt. You can slip real easy and get high center on a boulder right in the middle of it. So made through that one. Yikes. Which way? We are gonna go, I am gonna go this way. Oh, so many options. Oh, no wonder, that's why. Frankly, at this point of the day, I'm just doing this way. Yeah, this is where they connect. Yep. It's always nice when they reconnect because then you know you're going the right way. Oh, that was bad. Did not even see that branch. I'm climbing up a riverbank here. Oh, yeah. Watch out for these sharp rocks. Woo. I did not think this was going to be nearly this difficult, but man, in a completely stock Land Cruiser, this is a challenge, and I love it. Righty here. I have clearance for the full rods. Let's see. Okay, barely. Man, the road is smooth right here, though. Liking that. Can't believe it! Made it! Gallagher Head Lake. Awesome. And I did it in a mostly stock Land Cruiser First Edition. Wow. Oh, this place is epic. And that drive was epic too. So is this vehicle ideal for that? A little more ground clearance would be good. Nothing wrong with a 1-inch lift. That would probably help a lot. I think my Raptor would probably actually be set up better for that because of the front lockers, and it also just has more ground clearance. But man, with this vehicle, I am impressed. Side note, we averaged 7 miles to the gallon, which actually isn't too bad for that kind of driving, and we still have 3/4 of a tank. So we made it all the way to Gallagher Head Lake. That's really pretty. So in summary, I would say that an adventure like this is right at the outer limits of this setup. We have stock ground clearance, but with gnarly all-terrain tires, and clearly it got through. We did ding a few things on the underside. We did get a little bit of scratching in the paint, but honestly, that's what these things are built for, and I love it. So I want to thank you for coming along on this adventure. Be sure to like, subscribe, share our videos. We make them for you. I hope you enjoy them. And now I get to enjoy this lake.